Jai Hind everyone. My name is Amrita Bhatnagar, Assistant Professor in CSE Department of AKG. Today I am going to explain our main topic of the software engineering subject, software development life cycle and waterfall model. So this is the outline of my lecture. In this lecture I will explain two models, software development life cycle model or SDLC model, and second is the waterfall model. Okay, first one is the software development life cycle. What is the meaning of software development life cycle? In the software engineering, we develop some models to complete our project properly in the cost and on the time. That's why we require different type of model. And the software development life cycle is a basic model which shows the main stages of the software development. Fine. In the each step we have to work properly, and then we will go into the next step. This is a sequence of stages from the starting of the software development and when the software is going to outdated or absolute. So these all are the sequences of the software development life cycle. Fine. So these all are the steps in the SDL. So you can see here, first one is the communication, second is your requirement gathering, third is feasibility study, fourth is system analysis, fifth is software design, then coding, next one is the testing, integration, implementation, operations and maintenance, and disposition. These all are the steps in the software development life cycle. So you can see here, when we start a particular software to develop, the SDLC will be start from there, and the software will be used for the objectives, and when it goes outdated, then only this SDLC cycle will be completed. So first one is your communication. This is the first step where user initiate the request for a desired software product. He contacts to the service provider to work on this project. He submit his request to the service provider organization. Okay. So first one is the communication step where a particular user wants to develop a software product, and he will contact to a particular software company or software development organization to initiate the process of software development. So he will submit the request for the same. Fine. Requirement gathering. Next step is the requirement gathering. For example, if a user from a library management system, so that we have to collect all the information related to the library, and this step is known as a requirement analysis. So we will take a requirement from the users. It can be a system requirement, it can be a functional requirement, it can be non-functional requirement also there. Fine. So by the help of this requirement gathering phase, we will discuss all the requirement of the users and particular organization. When we get this requirement, then we will have another phase which is known as a feasibility study. In the feasibility study, we will see that this when we gather all the information which we have in the SRS document, because in the requirement analysis we create a requirement analysis document which is known as a SRS document or software requirement specification document. So which requirement we have specified in the SRS, is it possible or is it feasible to develop it? It can be technically feasibility, we have to check technically feasibility, we have to check financial feasibility, different type of feasibility we have to check it out. Fine. So this is another phase of this SDLC feasibility study. Now the system analysis. At this step, the developer decide a roadmap of their plan and try to bring up the best software model suitable for the project. Fine. I have already told you, we have different models to develop the software we have different model for the to develop the software. So we have to choose a particular model. It depends on our requirement. For example, if the requirements are clear and well defined, then we can use any waterfall model or any other model. But if the requirement is not clear to us, then we can use prototype model. Or if the risk is very risk analysis is very important, the software that type of software we can use spiral model. So they have different type of software model which we can use in the software engineering. So in this step we will analyze all the roadmap of our project and plan, and then we will use a particular software model in this particular step, right? This is known as a system analysis. This project team will analyze all the system schedule and resources accordingly, and they will check what should be the best model for this project. Now, next is the software design. After the gathering all the requirement from the user and particular organization, we create SRS document, that is software requirement specification document. And after creating the software requirement specification document, we will start to design a software. So we can say the input of the software design phase is SRS document, and the output of the software design phase is software design document, which is also known as a SDD document. So again, in this phase we create a document which is known as SDD, and in this phase we design the our project modules, so that the programmer will feel easy to develop the code here. So we can say design phase is very important between the requirement analysis and the coding phase, because it became the easy to develop the coding part. So this can be used for the design all the modules with the help of different type of diagrams, like logical diagrams, data flow diagram, activity diagram, and these different type of design we can make to help out the coder, so that development phase will be more easy than ever. Now, the next is the important phase, which is known as a coding phase. In this coding phase, which is known as a programming phase also. So, this is the main phase to convert the design into the implementation part or program code. So, we will choose a particular language which is suitable for our project, and we will use this programming language to develop the code. Now, next one is the testing. When we develop all the code for the project, then next phase is the testing phase. Now, the question is, what is the use of testing phase? Software testing is done while coding by the developers, and through thorough testing is conducted by the testing expert at various level of code, such as module testing, program testing, product testing, in-house testing, and all these type of testing is done on this phase. So, when we develop a code, then there is a possibility of different type of errors. So, we have to find out these errors and the early age of the early stage of the software development, so that it will be easy to remove the error easily, or it will be very reasonable, or you can say cost will be low to find out the error in the early stage and remove it. But if the errors find out at the last stage, or when we have already delivered the software to the customer and then they will find out the error, then it will be very costly to remove the error from the software. That's why we need a phase which will find out all the possible errors in the software. So in this case, we develop some test cases, or we can say we give all possible inputs for the software, and we will give different inputs to the software, and we will find out the output, that so that we can check our software is working properly or not. So in this case, this testing is very important. So firstly, we will start with the unit testing. We will check each and every piece of code of the software, and we will see if these piece of codes are working properly or not. Then we integrate these piece of code into modules. Fine. Then again we will check the modules and find out the errors. And after that we will check system testing. In the system testing, we will check all the as a whole system, because now we have already integrated all the modules in the software. So now we can perform the system testing, where we can have different type of testing, like the acceptance testing and regression testing. There are many different type of testing we can perform after the developing the software. Thank you. Next is the integration part. In the integration, software may need to be integrated with the libraries, databases, and other programs. We will integrate here. Okay. Next is the implementation. This means installing the software on the user machine. At that time, we have already developed the software, but the testing is performed on the only the software development team's machine. Now we will deliver this software to the customer, and we will install this software into the user machine. Then we will find out the different type of problems, or we will test all the software's functionality in the user machine also. Operation and maintenance. When we install the our software into the user's machine, then there is a possibility of find out the errors, and there is a need of the maintenance of the software also. If we have some challenges, or there are some issues with users find out, then we have to resolve it, or the development team have to resolve the problem which is facing by the users. Disposition, and this is the last phase of the software, where as the time elapses, the software may decline on the performance front. It may go completely absolute, or may need not intense upgradation. This is the last phase of the software, when it is become outdated or absolute. So when we have new technology and different type of methods we have, then their absolute methods and absolute software can be outdated. So it cannot be upgraded. So this is the last phase of your software. This is known as a disposition. Okay, so these all the phases we have discussed about the SD or software development life cycle in the software engineering. Now the next one more model I am going to discuss in the lecture, which is known as a waterfall model. Waterfall model is a basic or classic model of the software engineering, and all other models are the base of the waterfall model is the base for the all other models also. So what is the waterfall model? Waterfall approach was first developed SDLC model to be used widely in the software engineering to ensure success of the project. In this whole process of the software development is divided into separate phases. In this, outcome of one phase act as a input for the next phase. So this model is like a waterfall, where we have started from the upper side, and the output of the one phase will be the input of the other phase. It is like a waterfall, you can see here. So this is the waterfall model. You can see here we have different phases, which already we have discussed the SDLC also. And in the waterfall model again we have these phases, but some less phases are there. And you can see this is like a waterfall model, where we have to start from the top and end on the bottom. The first one is the feasibility study. Here in this feasibility study model step, we will check the project is possible technically, financially or not. If it is not possible to develop, then we can leave the concept of this project. Next is the requirement analysis and specification. Requirement analysis means we will collect the requirement from the users, or from the organization for which we are creating the software. So in this case, we will collect all the information from the different users or different levels of users, and we will conduct different interviews and brainstorming session to find out the basic requirements of the user. So many times happen requirements are not clear to user, but in the case of waterfall will be effective if the requirements are clear to user, then only we can use waterfall model here. So after the gathering the requirement from the user, we will create a document which is known as a SRS document, software requirement specification. Here we will mention all the functional and non-functional requirements here. And this is you can say this is the agreement between the developer and the customer, that the developer will provide all these functional and non-functional requirement after the installation of the software. When we create all the software, these functionality should be in the software. Next is the design phase. In this design phase, we will create some modules, we will create some diagrams related to our requirements to understand the process of functional and non-functional process. So we will design it, and for the designing part we will have different diagrams like ER diagrams, we can have DFD, data flow diagrams, we can have activity diagram, use case diagram, and different type of diagrams we will create to design the project. And it will be very necessary phase between the coding and requirement analysis, because in this phase, after the designing phase, the coding part will be more easy. And after the design phase, we will have another document which is known as a software design document. Next is the coding and unit testing. In the case of coding part, what it means, we will code our software in a particular language, and unit testing means we will test each and every piece of code with the different inputs, and we will get the output, and this output should be correct. Fine. In the case of coding and unit testing, we will create the code, and we will check also or test all the piece of codes individually. Fine. Now we again integration and system testing. Now we will integrate all the unit codes which we have, unit piece of codes which we have, and we will integrate different models, and we will create these models and integrate this, and then again testing will be done here. After the all the models will be integrated, then we will done system testing here. This is the system test. And the last phase is the maintenance phase here. When we require maintenance phase, when we created a software, we have already tested on our end all the software, and then we install this software into the user's machine, and then we need a maintenance phase, because the user will find out some errors and faults or bugs in the system. So we have to give maintenance support to the user so that it can work properly. So this is the last phase of the waterfall model, which is known as a maintenance phase. So these all are the waterfall model phases. Now, when we can use waterfall model, mostly we can use waterfall model where requirements are very well documented, clear and fixed. Product definition is stable. Technology is understood, is not dynamic. There is no ambiguous requirements, and project is short. So these all are the basic thing which you have to consider when you are applying or when you are opting the waterfall model. So this is the main applications where we can use waterfall model. Now the advantages, we have many advantages of this model, like simple and easy to understand and use, easy to manage due to rigidity of model, phases are processed completely at one time, works well for smaller project, clear defined stages, well understood milestones, easy to arrange tasks, process and results are well documented. So these all are the many advantages of waterfall model when we use waterfall model. But as well as advantage, we also have some disadvantages of the waterfall model. That's why we need other type of models also. So what are the disadvantages of the waterfall model? No working software is produced until the late during the life cycle. We will have software at the end of the waterfall model. We don't have any prototype and any toy model in the beginning of the software. High amounts of risk and uncertainty, and the main disadvantage of this model is that we don't have feedback loops here. If we have error in a particular phase, we cannot revert back to the previous phase. This is the main disadvantages of our waterfall model. Not a good model for the complex and object oriented projects, poor model for long and ongoing projects, not suitable for the project where requirements are changing. When the because we don't have feedback loops, if the requirement of the users changes, we cannot go backward. This is the main disadvantage of the our waterfall model. It is difficult to measure the progress and cannot accommodate changing requirements. So these all are the main disadvantages of the waterfall model. That's why we use different type of other models like iterative waterfall model, spiral model, prototype model, other type of model we will use. So in the next lecture I will discuss other models. Okay, now I think so now you have understand that what is the SDLC model and waterfall model. Thank you.